The Constitution and celebrating Christmas, dispelling the myths. Here in the United States, millions of Americans celebrate Christmas. For Christians, it's one of the most important, if not the most important, holidays along with Easter, because Christmas is representative of the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. But there's also millions of Americans who celebrate the Christmas holiday who may not consider themselves particularly very religious at all. And there's all these myths surrounding what you can do and can't do when it comes to Christmas displays and holiday displays and where they can be. Here's myth number one. The Constitution requires this complete separation of our Christmas and holiday displays that are religious from the government. The Establishment Clause of the Constitution, as we said, is clear. It's about Congress establishing an official religion for the U.S., and the founders did not want to do that. They came from a nation, fought against a nation that had that official Church of England, and they didn't want that experience here in the United States. They wanted it to be one of religious tolerance and diversity. But the Supreme Court has been clear. Congress does not bar religious holiday displays on government property, so long as that government property is a public forum. Because if you have a public forum, that means that all speech should be allowed. Here's myth number two, that governments cannot allow any private religious speech on government property. That's absolutely false. In fact, recently we were contacted by a group that wanted to put on a live nativity on a Pennsylvania public forum. So this was an area the government had set up that the public could utilize. They filed all the permits, all the paperwork. And the government came back and said, yes, you filed everything right, you did everything correct, but because this is religious, you can't have your live nativity. That's absolutely wrong, and the Supreme Court has been so clear on this. One of our early cases at the ACLJ was establishing this notion that religious speech, political speech, it should be treated no different. It's speech. So if you open up a public forum, you can't say it's open for everything but religion. Myth number three, the government can never create or maintain religious displays that happen to be on government property. The Supreme Court and lower court opinions, they're all over the place when it comes to the Establishment Clause. I'll be clear about that. And when it comes to these religious displays. But one thing is clear, it is not absolutely unconstitutional to display a nativity scene or creche or a menorah during the holiday seasons on government property. In fact, the courts have been fairly clear under what we now operate as called the Reindeer Rule. So if you have the menorah, if you have the nativity scene, there should be other items that the government displays that are not just religious in nature. And this brings to us an important ACLJ case that we won. It was an ACLJ case representing a town in Utah. And part of the town's historic park, they had a Ten Commandments display. But they also had all these other items that displayed the town's history. And so a group tried to challenge that and have the Ten Commandments taken down. And what the Supreme Court said 9-0 was that because the display was part of a large display, that it was absolutely okay that you could keep the Ten Commandments there. So after dispelling all these myths and sharing them with your friend and family, if you need help, go to aclj.org/help. Lawyers are there ready to help you right away with these matters. We're quick to do it in this holiday season. But we always encourage you, see the victories, get the information up at aclj.org. We hope you enjoyed watching that video. If you want to see more of our content and content like that, check it out right here. If you want to take your involvement to the next level, join the fight. Click on Join the Fight right now, and you can take your involvement with our work to the next level.